Well, we have the latest hit from the National Hurricane Center on Zeta. Still a tropical storm, but it is getting stronger. We also have an updated forecast track to bring to you tonight.
Zeta charging towards the Gulf Coast, and in Baldwin County, they are not waiting around getting the warning out. Emergency responses ready to go.
Mobile County also on high alert, even with Zeta's projected landfall well off to our west. The FOX10 viewing area from the coast and inland not taking any chances.
First with breaking news and breaking weather on the Gulf Coast. This is Fox 10 News, committed to you.
Hi there, and thank you for looking in again on our app and social media platforms. I'm Lenny Slagan.
I'm Byron Day. We're glad you chose Fox 10 News tonight. We're taking another ride on the 2020 hurricane season roller coaster. Tropical storm Zeta now in the Gulf of Mexico after blowing across the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, Zeta expected to get stronger before making landfall on the Gulf Coast tomorrow. It is the 27th named storm for this year's hurricane season. Our chief meteorologist Jason Smith tracking all of the activity.
And he's got the updated numbers and the track of Zeta. Jason.
Okay, Byron, Lenise, let's start out by looking at the satellite imagery first here, and it appears that we have a ragged eye, but the situation here is that the low-level center and the mid and upper-level center of the storm are still not perfectly aligned. Definitely a mid-level center that looks pretty well organized, and we've actually seen a pretty substantial increase in showers and thunderstorms and convection around the center within the last 3 or 4 hours. It's a trend we started to notice around 5 or 6 o'clock this evening, and it still appears to be holding its own. There's been a real burst there around the northeast quadrant of the storm as well, and Hurricane Hunter aircraft have been in here. The National Hurricane Center has upped the intensity of the winds to 70 miles an hour, so Zeta is on the verge of becoming a hurricane. The only thing that we're looking at here is that the pressure seems to be leveled off, at least temporarily, at 990 millibars. If we see that pressure dropping down, that's likely a sign that the winds are about to go up. So northwest at 15, a little faster forward speed. We're going to see this with time as well. It's working around a ridge. We expect more of a turn to the north-northwest and north overnight tonight. Water temperatures where it is right now are currently running in the mid-80s. It's in an environment that favors intensification really for about the next 12 to 18 hours. Once it gets close to the coast, it will be over some cooler nearshore waters, and there'll also be some wind shear. Once it gets here, it'll start to feel the approaching trough coming in from the west, big ice storm out in Texas, and that's going to create hostile upper level winds, which should begin to shear the system apart at the last minute. These are your two steering mechanisms. A high pressure ridge to the east is trying to send it northwest, and then a trough digging into the west will erode the ridge a little and kick it out rapidly to the northeast. And so the two are working together to enhance the forward speed of this system. Now, looking at the new forecast track that just came down from the National Hurricane Center, you can see the system becoming a hurricane, we believe, tonight, and then veering towards Louisiana. It looks like possible landfall somewhere around Grand Isle, Louisiana, or Lafitte, and then it will track pretty much right over New Orleans with the center, and then the system will go right up through our inland counties. It looks like it'll veer up into Mississippi and perhaps end up in northern Washington or northern Clark counties or in Greene County with the center of the track. Right now, the cone still includes western Mobile County, and we're going to be on the wet and windy side of it. Another thing to note is that the intensity forecast has it at 7 o'clock over New Orleans or over the Mississippi coast, and that has sped up the timing. So it looks like it may be ashore sooner. We could even get landfall late tomorrow afternoon in Louisiana, and we'll have it closer to us by around 7 p.m. So faster forward speed here, that moves up the timeline for the impacts, but it also gets it out of here quicker into Wednesday night. No changes to the watches and warnings for our area. We're still under tropical storm watch and a hurricane warning. The computer models are tightly packed and in excellent agreement, so it is a high confidence forecast. It's really been that way all along. We will watch for a slight risk of severe weather in our area tomorrow. Possibility of some tornadoes with these rain bands, tropical rain bands coming in. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and the early part of tomorrow night. Overnight, that severe threat will be lower. Where's the rain? Well, we had a band move through, and we're waiting on that next band. There are some showers out into the Gulf, and that we do expect to see this system coming ashore sometime tomorrow evening. By 2 a.m. it should be passing by and heading to the north. This is the slower European model. The GFS model is also showing a similar solution, a little faster with the GFS. It has it to our north and west around 11 p.m. and by the early morning hours beginning to see some improvements. As far as impacts, I do expect tides to be generally 3 to 5 feet above normal in our area. It may be a little higher than that from Dolphin Island to Bila Battery to the Mississippi line, but most of us in the 3 to 5 feet range with more of a 2-foot range for tides across the Florida Panhandle. Wind and rain expected. We could see some power outages as a result of the winds and isolated tornadoes. That's the latest update. 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm as of right now, and the update from the National Hurricane Center. Lenise, Byron.
All right, Jason, thank you. We've got team coverage all over the Gulf Coast tonight. Our Michael Warwick in Gulf Shores, Morella Porter on Dolphin Island, Shelby Myers here in Mobile, and Tyler Finger in Biloxi.
Michael, we're starting with you. Baldwin County about to go under a state of emergency yet again. ZETA.
Yeah, there's just no telling what this storm can bring, and that's why nobody is taking any chances with this thing. This storm trailing behind course up the Gulf by just 42 days. As Hurricane Zeta zips through the Gulf, Baldwin County, still reeling from Hurricane Sally last month, is about to be in another local state of emergency. With debris still scattered along roads, roofs covered with tarps, there's no telling the damage Zeta could cause.
Don't take this storm lightly. Look at what Sally did. So you have to be prepared.
Baldwin EMC telling me there will be power outages across its already Sally weakened system.
After this storm, expect trees to be on your property. Expect trees to be down on the roadways. Expect trees to be in the power lines. So we got to be patient.
Baldwin County schools deciding to cancel school Thursday and are letting out early at 1:30 tomorrow. Down at the beaches, Gulf Shores is calling on visitors to evacuate. The expected damaging winds from Zeta, enough for leaders around Baldwin County to not take any chances. While most public buildings will close, absentee voting in courthouses will remain open. That includes absentee voting, which will go uninterrupted. Live in Gulf Shores, Michael Warwick, Fox 10 News.
Okay, Michael, meanwhile on Dolphin Island, Mayor Jeff Collier there says the biggest concern with Zeta, saltwater flooding, especially on the west end.
Yeah, but the mayor is not calling for an evacuation on that part of the island. He does, however, say it's something visitors need to consider. Morella Porter is joining us live.
And Morella, the island still in recovery mode from Sally, and now Zeta looming in the Gulf. People there got to be ready for the season to end.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Byron. And people I talk to who live here say they're really just holding out hope that this will not be that bad. Like you said, Hurricane Sally is still fresh on their minds, so they're expecting Zeta to be a piece of cake compared to that. Popular spots on Dolphin Island, boarded up and ready to go. Not taking any chances with Zeta.
Hopefully we'll get through this unscathed.
Residents hoping for the best.
Definitely targeting the Gulf a lot. Storm after storm, trying to be prepared for this.
The Wires family says planning ahead has been key to navigating this wild hurricane season.
When the weather's nice, we've just been making trips back to town to stock up on more water, stock up on more canned goods, more fuel, more gasoline, propane.
Loose ends seemingly all tied up by this afternoon. As the storm approaches, Sharon Helm Wires says their only concern is a leaning pine tree in their backyard that they haven't had the chance to get around to.
Thankfully, when and if it goes, it's going to fall in an area where there's not a house, so it's not a danger to anyone at this point. So we're just going to let it do whatever it's going to do.
Just hours from Zeta's arrival, Island Mayor Jeff Collier asked both residents and visitors to be aware of their surroundings.
Asking people to be cautious about is the fact that we've got a lot of damage from Sally with trees that are either leaning or broken limbs and things, and houses that have not been repaired where you could get some flying debris during the height of the storm.
And because of the dangers of that flying debris and possibilities of falling trees, the mayor is asking both residents and visitors to stay off the roads when Zeta hits. Live on Dauphin Island, Morella Porter, Fox 10 News.
Thanks, Morella. And Alabama Power saying it's going to be ready for Zeta. Crews on standby to restore power if communities are left in the dark by this storm once it's safe to get out there in the conditions and do so. Now, Alabama Power is encouraging customers to make sure they have their own storm plan and to follow the guidance from local emergency management.
Well, as Tropical Storm Zeta charges forward, Mobile City crews are in a race against time, picking up what Hurricane Sally left behind more than a month ago.
Shelby Myers spoke with the mayor tonight. She's live in Mobile. Shelby, Zeta could put the city back at square one when it comes to cleanup.
Yeah, exactly, Lanice and Byron. That's what the mayor tells me today. He met with city officials who are working hard to clean up Sally debris, keeping Zeta at the forefront. Now, some Mobilians doing the same today, making sure their homes are prepared for yet another tropical system.
It's just a little bit of previous storm damage, and we just kind of fixed it back down the way it needed to be done.
Yeah, it's just a corner blew up from Sally that we put down, and then we were just making sure it's super secure.
The Walker brothers in downtown Mobile repairing their Hurricane Sally damaged roof just in time for Zeta to roll through.
Make sure the generator's fueled up, and that's about it.
Yeah, just, it's all pretty much prepared. We're used to it.
Used to it. A sentiment seemed to be shared by all of us this hurricane season, but not a reason to let your guard down.
We went to bed when Sally was coming ashore thinking, it may be a Cat 1. Ended up being a Cat 2. Much worse damage. The same thing could happen. There's no reason to think it may not.
If you take a drive through many Mobile neighborhoods, Sally debris still lines the sidewalk. Mayor Sandy Stimpson says his crews are in a final push to clean it up so Zeta doesn't send it flying. But time is running out.
For the next, I'm going to say 24 hours, I think that we'll be continuing to pick up trash and debris from Sally. And then once we stop picking up that trash, we will resume picking it back up on Thursday in an effort to, again, try to clean up the city, but it's pretty much probably starting back over.
Now, Mobile County will be under tropical storm and storm surge warnings. Emergency crews recommend that you evacuate if you live in storm surge zones, low-lying areas, and flood-prone areas. Here are some of the shelters that are open as a last resort for you. Theodore High School is going to be opened, and then Burns Middle School will also be open as a medical needs shelter. But remember, space is limited because of COVID-19 restrictions, and you will be required to wear a mask. Live in Mobile tonight, Shelby Myers, Fox 10 News.
Okay, Shelby, schools across our area closing down ahead of Zeta. Mobile County Public Schools shutting down for tomorrow. That includes any after-school events. However, Catholic schools will remain open tomorrow, but after-school activities have been canceled. Public schools in Clark and Washington counties will dismiss early tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Now, the University of Mobile in South Alabama moving classes online. That'll start at noon tomorrow. In-person classes at South will be back on Thursday at 6. The University of Mobile will be starting in-person learning on Monday. You can see the full list of changes on our website. That is fox10tv.com.
Well, the Mississippi coast projected to get more of Zeta than what they got from Sally. And in Biloxi, preparations are underway. We've
got our Tyler Finger there for you now with live reporting to talk about the conditions with our continued team coverage. Hi, Tyler.
Yeah, hey, good evening, Lanice. With this active hurricane season, the concern here in southern Mississippi is that people may not be taking this threat seriously. Here in Biloxi, they're asking everyone to be prepared. Calm served tonight in Biloxi, but that will be changing in just a few hours as Zeta makes a beeline for the northern Gulf Coast. Life's Beach Rentals clearing the sand for at least the 4th time this year.
We had a good season, but it's definitely aggravating having to pull all this stuff off and put it back on and a month later have to take it back off.
The city of Biloxi busy preparing as well. The city's marinas and harbors have been closed. They're also staging equipment in case of flooding. Their message to residents, better safe than sorry.
Make sure that you are prepared. Don't take it lightly, but don't be scared.
Along Biloxi's beach, people taking in the sights before the storm. This area has been in 7 storm projected paths this year.
I know a lot of people probably aren't worried about it because I think they're tired. You know, they're tired of 7 times this year. And it's hard work.
A busy year in the tropics as yet another storm is set to make landfall tomorrow.
You cannot mess with Mother Nature because she's very powerful when she wants to be.
The gaming continues inside the Coast casinos. As of now, the Mississippi Gaming Commission has not ordered them shut. We're live in Biloxi tonight. Tyler Finger, Fox 10 News.
All right, Tyler, and even further to our west, people aren't taking any chances with ZETA. Folks in New Orleans picking up sandbags to help protect their homes and property. Orleans Parish issuing a voluntary evacuation order for people who live outside the levee system. The city very concerned about the possibility of widespread power outages, but the mayor says they're used to it by now.
We've been here before, as I mentioned from the very start of this, over and over again this year. We're no strangers to it. 7 times, of course, in the cone of uncertainty is unprecedented. But again, we stand ready and prepared.
Forecasters expect ZETA to bring sustained winds of up to 50 miles an hour beginning tomorrow afternoon there.
As Fox 10 News has done throughout the hurricane season, count on us to keep you informed as ZETA races towards the Gulf Coast. You can see our updates on air, online, and on social media. You can also download the free Fox 10 News app, and then that way you never miss an alert when it comes to severe weather. That is all the time we have for now, but we're going to see you again soon.
Yeah, we certainly will. You can catch us again tonight right here on Fox 10 after the 7th.